Hello everyone and welcome back to the Angels franchise. If you missed it in the last episode, the unthinkable happened. Mike Trout has injured himself and will be out for at least 4 weeks. Trout had not been off to a great start this season, only batting .232 and is showing severe signs of regression. I thought the window for Trout was maybe 5 more years. It's looking like it's probably less than that if this level of regression continues. We're still only in the month of May and he's got a few -5s on here. The Angels up to this point are 25 and 27, hovering right around 500, and they're only 1 game back in the wild card race. Obviously, it's still very early in the season, but I think that there was kind of a legitimate chance of potentially making a wild card push this season, which is all you can really ask for when Trout is healthy. But now with Trout injured, it becomes the Zach Neto show. Can he prove that he can truly be the #1 guy of the future with this team? He's been playing really well since he returned from the short-term injury at the start of the season, and it's time for him to truly prove himself again. During this time, we'll obviously need some of these younger guys to step up. Logan O'Hoppe had not been playing well, though has turned it around at least a little bit in recent weeks, currently on a 3-game hitting streak. And Nolan Schanuel needs to pick it up as well after his slow start to the season. Because of the Trout injury and finding ourselves needing a little bit more depth in the outfield, we did sign former Philly David Dahl. I don't expect him to play very much, truly just a platoon guy if somebody needs a rest day, and it was a lot cheaper than getting a guy like Alex Verdugo. I think Dahl is a guy at 30 that we could maybe just keep on the roster just in case injuries like this happen, but he's pretty much just going to play at AA or AAA for the rest of his career. We did sign him to a 2-year contract. He was unwilling to sign the 1 year, and the next time we send him down to the minors, it'll be his final minor league option. The new lineup looks like this. Joe Adell slots in as the everyday right fielder, which actually also promotes Mickey Moniak to the everyday center fielder. Him and Adell were splitting center field versus righties and versus lefties. Now it is strictly Moniak at center, strictly Joe Adell in right. And now we have a home series against the Yankees, and it's time to find out what the Angels are like without Trout this season. Welcome everybody to Angels Stadium. No Mike Trout here today, put on the injured list as of a day ago. The Angels face off against the Yankees, both teams under 500 to start this season. Zach Neto currently playing very well, looking to extend a 10-game hitting streak, and now suddenly becomes the best player on the team. Reed Detmers, the man on the mound, he is not playing well so far this season with a near 6 ERA and a 1.39 whip. He's 3-5 on the season in his 10 starts. Cody Bellinger leads us off for the Yankees. And this is going to be one of those games for me where it's sort of like an offensive lock, just so that we can see the offense without Mike Trout. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that I absolutely hate Reed Detmers' windup. You're also going to notice that Mickey Moniak not in the outfield today. We're giving him the day off. So it is Joe Adell in center, and it is David Dahl in right field in his Angels debut. And this is going to be a base knock for Bellinger. Gets past the shifted Zach Neto. I'll show you guys the first inning with Detmers, and then we will strictly be offense going forward. Swing and a miss from Cabrera. Down on strikes. And now it's maybe the scariest hitter on the planet, as Aaron Judge will go down taking a hack at it as well. Detmers back-to-back strikeouts. Full count to Stanton. We'll try to get him, and that touches the zone, but we don't get the call. So a walk for Detmers. Then a base hit potentially. No, Newman tracks it down, gets it to Neto. We get Stanton at second, and we get through the inning with no runs. Carlos Rodon on the mound for the Yankees. Not having a great season himself, but he is 0-4. Perhaps even a bit worse than Detmers. Taylor Ward back down to earth now, batting under a 300 this season. Might be losing that leadoff spot here pretty quick. As he looks at a cutter outside. And Ward, getting some favorable calls there, will walk his way to first. Brings up Zach Neto, who has been crushing it so far this season. Looking to crush it again. Hanging circle changes, hit well to right field, but tracked down by the big man Aaron Judge. 2 gone now for Joe Adell, who is much better when runners are in scoring position. Oh my goodness. He probably knows he missed that one. That should be about 500 feet. Now on to the bottom of the second, one gone already in the bottom half of this inning, still 0-0. So we see our young catcher, Logan O'Hoppe. See if he can start to really turn it on this season. Need to see more power from him. He's been severely lacking it so far this season. He's meant to be one of our best power bats, yet he's near the bottom of the team in home runs amongst those who play often. Oh my God, the crack off the bat on that one sounded insane. O'Hoppe has worked the count full. Pitch on its way. And gets a good one to take a hack at, and he does. This is going to be extra bases for Logan O'Hoppe, who will easily get into second. Oh my goodness. Yoan Moncada, the next man up. And he hits this one deep to right field. 412 feet, 7th on the year for Moncada. And the Angels are going to be on the board first. 2 runs come across with one swing of the bat. 2-0 Halos. So 2 gone now for David Dahl. His first appearance as an Angel. And he gets one that's decent to hit, but kind of just lobs it out there for Judge to pick up. So 2 come across for the Angels in the inning. They find themselves with a lead. Runners on the corners for Detmers. Can he get out of this one? Only 1 gone in the inning. He strikes out Stanton, but then a run comes across due to the Paredes base hit, and then a fielder's choice gets him out of the inning. Zach Neto shows him how it's done and gets this one into left center field. That's going to be a stand-up double for the Stars shortstop as he does continue the hit streak. Now up to 11 games in a row for Zach Neto. 2 gone with a runner in scoring position for Joe Adell. We know he's got that good batting clutch. Bumps his contact rating up to a 76. But Adell will once again pop one up. And that's going to be an easy out, number 3 here in the 3rd. Still 2-1 for the Halos. Bottom of the 4th, Detmer's clean inning. Soler should have hit that one a mile. Soler will get this one through the gap. There was a little bit of a shift there, and it ends up paying off for Jorge Soler as the shortstop's not in the area, and it's a leadoff base hit for him. Logan O'Hoppe, opposite field. Looks like it's a bit too high, and that is indeed the case. Moncada now to the plate. Swings through a really good circle change at the bottom of the zone. And this one is right at the second baseman. The easiest 4-6-3 double play you're ever going to see. And the Yankees get out of the inning. Detmer's starting to get a little bit low on energy. We'll see how he continues as he walks Judge, walks Stanton, and then allows a double to Wells, and 2 runs come around. And then a single, but the runner is thrown out at home. That will be the last inning of work for Reed Detmers. It's an admirable performance, just didn't get the runs he needed. So we bring in Dakota Hudson to hopefully get a good chunk of innings out of the way. 3 up, 3 down go the Yankees. And the Yankees here in the 6th are also making a pitching change. So the Angels unable to do anything in the 5th, so we've jumped forward here to the 6th. Shawnuel is the man leading us off, and it's a 3-2 lead for the Pinstripes. Like to see that in the bottom right. Last 8 games, Shawnuel batting above a 300. That's exactly what we want to see, as that is a painted fastball. And a swing and a miss on another painted circle change this time as he took some off of it. One guy in particular we really need to start playing well is Joe Adell, who basically is the outright replacement of Trout over there in right field. Went from only playing against lefties to now projected to play every single day in right field. Today he's playing center due to Moniak being tired, and he misses on the curveball. Full count for Jorge Soler. Weaver's pitch is going to miss low. Soler will walk. Logan O'Hoppe with a double earlier in this one. He can do that again. It might score Soler. That is a really good fastball that does not get the call. That was the first one that Weaver, I think, had missed really badly. And O'Hoppe was late on it, grounds to first. And the Yankees allowing no more runs from the Angels. Jonathan Loaisiga comes into the game for the 7th inning as Dakota Hudson gives us a good top half of the 7th. And now it is the Angels' turn to try to tie this one up. Moncada turns on this one, but is going to gently fly out to right center. So 2 gone in the 7th. This Yankees bullpen looking nice in this one. Loaisiga dealing nearly as much as Weaver was. Dahl will swing and miss at a circle change. Dahl, in his debut as an Angel, is going to tie this one up 426 feet to right field. Welcome to the Los Angeles Angels, David Dahl, the former Rocky, getting this one done and tying this game up. That one was a terrible pitch from Loaisiga. We'll see it again here in just a moment, I'm sure, but it was hanging there. Very easy one for David Dahl in his Angels debut. If you look at the location in the bottom left, it is a breaking ball, top middle zone. I mean, that's like every hitter's wheelhouse. Taylor Ward gives that one a pretty good crack, but it is right at the shortstop. That'll end the 7th, but now tied at 3 are the Yankees and the Angels. So David Dahl was able to tie it with one swing of the bat. Could we get Nolan Schanuel to take the lead? As I say it, that is unreal. It's swinging a drive from Nolan Schanuel, and the longest home run now we've seen on the channel. It goes 433 off the bat of the first baseman, and just as I was talking about it, Nolan goes yard to give the Angels a lead. Talk about timing. Adele does not homer, but he will walk to first. All right, Logan, the new man came in, got a homer, and then Schanuel, your other young teammate, got one as well. Can you do the same? Logan O'Hoppe. That is somehow ball 3. And Logan O'Hoppe is going to crush one to left. And it stays fair. It is gone. And the Angels have extended their lead. And this one has been blown wide open. The Halos will have a 3-run lead off of 2 home runs from 2 of our building blocks. So now let's see if we can clean this one up. We'll do the pitching here as it's Ben Joyce on the mound, and he gets a call at the top of the zone with a slider. That, of course, brings up Aaron Judge, who has had a good night so far. Joyce not allowing that to continue. Neto makes the easy play over to first. Only 1 out to go here in the top of the 9th. Swing and a miss from Stanton, and Joyce puts this one away. The Angels, off of the high-scoring bottom of the 8th, will win against the Yankees 6-3, and it's looking like they can be okay without Trout. One thing, though, I will say about this team is that we feel very home run dependent. Dahl, Schanuel, O'Hoppe, and Moncada all getting homers, which accounts for literally all of our RBIs. And I'll be honest, this likely isn't surprising news to anyone, as we do rank 6th in the MLB in terms of power on the roster, but we're 12th in contact, so it's not like we should be that bad of a contact team. But it seems like we struggle to just get a series of base hits to bring runs around. At the moment, it just feels like this is not a team that is going to get a bunch of singles that leads to a bunch of runs. Feels like a team that's going to get a walk, maybe 1 single, and then a homer from somebody with some power in the lineup, which is fine, but it's not necessarily conducive to winning baseball games. Although I say that we're 8-2 in our last 10 and only 1 game off of being 500. But hey, a win is a win, and it's our first win with no Trout in the lineup. So let's see how the Angels do the rest of this series against the Yankees. Well, I'll take a shutout victory to push us to 500. And it's not that the Yankees couldn't get hits. I mean, Judge had 3 of his own. Newman with a 4-hit performance. Jorge Soler with 3 RBIs. Well, how about that? The Angels 27-27. Can they sweep the Yankees with no Mike Trout? Well, it looks like we're going to get a chance to do that ourselves. Logan O'Hoppe at the plate, bottom of the 9th, 1 gone and a runner on first. So we don't want to ground into a double play. Devin Williams, the man on the mound. And oh my God, missing wildly. And that's going to advance the runner to second. The double play ball no longer in play. That is a really bad wild pitch from Devin Williams. Actually, that looks like it's just a bad catch. In that replay, it didn't look like the pitch actually missed that badly. 1-1 count for O'Hoppe. And one misses again. Patience is a virtue in these situations. And he'll miss again. 3-1 count for Logan O'Hoppe. The light is absolutely green for the young man. And O'Hoppe pushes this the opposite way. And we're going to hold Soler at third. And I'm glad we did. A laser beam of a throw gets home, but we're still alive. The issue, though, double play ball now back on for the Yankees. A runner only 90 feet from home. It's Yoan Moncada with an opportunity to at least tie this one up. Swings and misses on the curveball. Moncada, a little dribbler towards first. They're not going to be able to double him up, and we've tied the game here off of the half-hearted swing of Yoan Moncada. He kicked the dirt like he was disappointed with himself, but he did bring the tying run around. Now high-fiving his teammates, maybe not realizing at first that he did tie the game. So at the very least, this is going to extra innings, but a base hit from Taylor Ward could score. Logan O'Hoppe from second. Taylor Ward has really cooled off as of late. He was the hottest man in baseball to start the season. Not so much the case anymore. Still around a 280 batting average. Could he be the hero here? I don't know if he's going to get a pitch better than that one. 1-2 pitch is one that I think he has to swing at. That is a beautiful curveball from Devin Williams. But the Angels won't walk it off, but they will tie this one up as we head to extra innings. So we jump forward. It's bottom of the 10th. The Yankees did score a run in the top of the 10th. So another save situation for Williams. Is he going to have 2 blown saves in the same game? Let's see if we can make that happen. Mickey Moniak is 0 for 3 on the day. He's got a runner in scoring position, of course, with the new extra innings rules. And they're saying he swings at that one. I tried to hold up as it found its way into the dirt. It's a strikeout for Moniak. Strikeout about the last thing you want in these situations. That's a really bad one. 1 gone for Joe Adell. Runner in scoring position. Adell has managed to work the count back full as Williams has missed badly 3 times in a row. What does he got for the payoff pitch? Adell looks at a ball low. That is a very close pitch. Good eye to lay off. Runners on first and second, and the Yankees will make a change. So it's Ian Hamilton that comes on, and I believe he is the pitcher that we just hit a couple home runs off of in that last game. Nolan Schanuel hitting one and O'Hoppe hitting the other. But the man at the plate is Kevin Newman. Did have 4 hits in the middle game of the series. Just need 1 here from you, Kevin. But he's going to ground to short, and that is going to do it. Double play ends the game, and the Yankees will take the final game in the series. So as we begin to advance again, we are 27-28. We're right about at the end of the month of May. So before we have this series against the Guardians, let's take a look at the stats and see how everyone is performing. So far on the season, d'Arnaud, still in his limited appearances, is batting a .429. Neto's up to a .323 on the year. He is just continuing to stay red hot, has a .968 OPS. He's walked 15 times. He is just having an incredible start to his year. Mickey Moniak is cold. He was previously one of the best players on the team. Taylor Ward also cold. Rengifo is hitting a little bit better. Soler is hitting quite a bit better. And Logan O'Hoppe slowly but surely is climbing his way back up the averages. Schanuel still near the bottom of the 200s, but this is a little bit better than what we were seeing before. Newman, Noda, Dahl all batting poorly, and so is Joe Adell. But we'll give him a little bit more time to hopefully hopefully bring this average up, but it has not been good from Joe Adell. As for pitchers, Kyle Hendricks is playing really well in recent games. In fact, his last 2 games are both incredible. He went 8 innings against the Athletics, only allowing 1 run. He only went 5 innings against the Yankees in his latest start, allowing 7 hits, but no runs came across. He is also regressing quite badly at the age of 35. Jose Soriano is continuing to have a great year. 60 innings pitched, a 1.8 ERA, and a 1.13 whip. His recent games are all incredible. He hasn't given up a run in his last 3 outings, had a pretty poor one against Baltimore, and then also didn't give up a run against Detroit all the way back on the 3rd. So the month of May, outside of 1 game, has been absolutely elite from Jose Soriano. And he is also seeing a touch of regression. As a reminder, his potential is a C, meaning that it is currently lower than his overall. So it's going to be hard for him to progress. He's going to have to completely outplay his potential. But I think right now he's doing that. He's 5-5. I think he's easily been our best starting pitcher on the season. Yusei Kikuchi apparently on a little bit of a cold stretch, but still has solid numbers, a 3.64 ERA with the 1.25 whip. He is also regressing slightly, being that he is 33. I do think that it's probably a good idea to trade him sooner rather than later. It's all going to come down to how we're looking at the trade deadline. If we are in it to possibly contend to make the playoffs, and take contend with a grain of salt, I know that this roster is not near a World Series, but I think that they could make a wild card spot. So when I say contend, I mostly mean to make the playoffs. But if we're in a spot to contend, then we probably keep Kikuchi. You know, if we're in a spot where we kind of need to blow it up for the year, I think he is a big time trade candidate. Not having a horrible year though. Reed Detmers, on the other hand, has been quite bad. A 5.79 ERA with a 1.45 whip. He's only 25 though, so he's still going to see quite a bit of improvement. 3-5 on the year. In his recent games, they're all just about the same. He gives up 3 runs every single time, and he goes about 5 or 6 innings. Jack Kahanowicz, who has been kind of spot starting for us this season, has honestly been pretty solid, I think, during those starts. He took over as a starter about halfway through April, had a really bad showing to start the month of May, but then otherwise has kind of just been, I guess, what you would describe as average through the rest of May. His last 2 starts have both been really good. Jose Suarez is not playing super well, but you can't deny the attribute upgrades coming through for him. He, of course, has B potential. And I know he's only a 55 overall, but of course, we can't send him down. He has no more minor league options. And I do think he has potential to be really good in the future, but just hasn't been great so far this season, though he has seen limited action. Ben Joyce has been excellent out of the bullpen. Really no complaints here. Throws absolute missiles, well over 100 miles per hour pretty much every time. He's actually only allowed 2 earned runs on the season. Chase Silseth, on the other hand, has been horrifically bad, including giving up 2 earned runs against the Athletics, another 3 against the Dodgers this month. He plays a lot, it appears. He ends up coming out of the bullpen all the time, and he ends up being absolutely horrible. So probably need to make a change to the bullpen lineup to make sure he sees less action, perhaps even sending him down. Victor Gonzalez, speaking of struggling big time, has been really, really bad. Only 15 innings pitched, so it's not like he's played a ton, but his numbers are horrible, consistently giving up a lot of runs out of the bullpen. And these are absolutely going to be losing us games. Tyler Anderson's been on the IL since I think his 3rd start on the year. He had a horrible beginning to the year, hoping he can be a little bit better when he comes back. He is also 35 though, so he will start regressing pretty badly here soon. Kenley Jansen has been really good. Pretty much no surprises there, has 10 saves on the season. He is regressing horribly as well, being that he is 37. This is a really old baseball team, the more that I look at it. Jose Quijada has been bad, and Hans Kraus has been bad. So I think this tells me a lot about the pitching rotation and changes we might need to make to the bullpen to ensure that in the simulation, certain guys are playing more than others. I'd also be interested in throwing around the idea with you guys about possibly trading Kenley Jansen and letting Ben Joyce be the closer. I think he could absolutely close. The walk per 9 is concerning, but he's got the velo, he's got the break, needs to get the K per 9 up a little bit more ideally, but he's really good. He has B potential. He's only 24. I think he could absolutely be the closing pitcher if we want to trade Kenley. I know Kenley's been good for us, but again, another situation where if we get to the deadline and he could help another team, perhaps we make that move. So now let's see if the Angels can continue to be good even without Mike Trout. As Joe Adell breaks his ankle, we just really don't have the outfield depth to allow these types of injuries to keep happening. We'll put him on the 10-day. We're just obviously going to have to continue over and over and over to put him on the 10-day. Now we need to call somebody up or even sign another guy. I don't want to sign Verdugo. He's way too expensive. And I think I might bring up David Calabrese, who's been playing pretty well at AAA right now. Only the D potential potential for him. Ryan Noda can actually play in the outfield, and I think I might lean his way to start in right field during this time that Adele and Trout are both out, and just bring up Calabrese to be another David Dahl type, just another guy on the bench for depth. Or Dahl could even potentially start. He does have the stronger arm. So David Calabrese is going to get to make his debut in the MLB. Due to some injuries, we've had to rush him up a little bit more quickly than maybe we would have liked, but here he is. So originally I was going to have Noda start in right. I get concerned with him being the main backup to Shawnuel about him playing too much and getting tired. So against righties, at least David Dahl is going to start in right field. And then against lefties, we will allow Noda to be in that spot, and we'll move him obviously way down the order. Although he does have really good pop against lefties, he just has horrible batting clutch. So this way, Noda's only playing about half the time in the outfield, and he'll be ready to go when Shawnuel needs a day off. But holy cow, we cannot afford much more in the way of injuries. And that does also mean that Alexander Ramirez gets promoted to be the left field starter in AAA, and Werner Blakely is promoted to AA. So we're in such a terrible situation with the Angels outfield right now that we're having to start David Dahl at right field. And now Jose Soriano is experiencing some elbow tightness. I'm going to keep him active. It looks like he's just going to be out for a couple days. And David Calabrese in his debut has broken his forearm. He is out for 1 to 2 months. What is happening to this outfield? So another outfielder on the injured list, no Trout, no Adele, no David Calabrese, who just immediately gets injured in his first game. So as weird as this might be, I'm calling up a third baseman, J.D. Davis. He's a veteran, has been in the MLB for 6 seasons. The reason we're calling him up is because he does have a secondary position of left field. Although right field seems to be absolutely cursed right now, we will at least have J.D. Davis who can play left field. So I think perhaps Davis starts in left, Ward in right field, and then Moniak stays in the center. Dahl goes back to the bench. I know some of you are probably screaming at me that Jorge Soler can play in the outfield, but bro, no, he can't. Look at these fielding ratings: 33 fielding, 32 reaction. He is like strictly a DH at this point. Against right-handed pitching, JD Davis is going to play in left field. Taylor Ward switches to right field. Mickey Moniak in center. Against lefties, Ward will be in left field. Ryan Noda will get the start in right field. And of course, Mickey Moniak in center. But one more outfield injury might kill us. With that out of the way, it is time to do more scouting. And speaking of outfielders, we scouted Todd Dennison, and he has shot up our board like a cannon. He went from MLB draft rank 46 to Angels draft rank 8. He has elite fielding, elite speed, and elite stealing. And as you guys know, I really like Kevin Vasquez a lot for similar reasons. Vasquez just projects, I think, to be a better bat, but has elite fielding, elite reaction, and elite speed. I want an elite fielder in center in the future, and I'm very tempted to take a guy like Kevin Vasquez, but Todd Dennison might be the next best thing. And then we could get Dennison as well as Carmona with our number 2 overall pick. And Carmona is just one of those pitching prospects where you can't miss. We're basically going to finish up scouting Todd Dennison, 40% more this week. We'll have him at 95. We're still kind of looking for later in the draft third baseman. Brian Julio potentially could be that. Hopefully his potential stays high after the scouting. And then we're just starting to kind of dip our toes into the catcher position. I know O'Hoppe is the catcher of the future, but the depth at catcher on this team is horrific. So we will continue the simulation for the 28 and 29 Angels. And there's a chance here for Zach Neto against the Guardians. Top of the 7th, 2-0 Halos. Neto looking to continue his hit streak, I believe is why we're coming into this one. 1 gone, 2 on in the inning, facing Hunter Gaddis.
Nope, that's it.
And I have to say, I love this Cleveland ballpark. I think it is very pretty. So could potentially see one to hit here. And he does. Sends it pretty deep to left. And it is off the wall. And it's not going to score any runs, but it is a base hit for Neto. The longest single you are ever going to see. Bases loaded. Zach Neto maintains the hitting streak at 15 games. And the Angels also find a victory and get back to 500 once again. Nolan Shawnuel ended up hitting a grand slam immediately following that, by the way. Here's a look at the box score. A bunch of 1 hits. and Darno with none. Shawnuel gets his 8th homer on the season, 29th and 30th RBIs for Ward and Shawnuel respectively, and Detmers gets his 4th win on the season. He did not allow a run in the 6 innings he pitched, only allowing 1 hit, but did walk 4. Now to the East Coast we go, a series against Boston, and immediately another opportunity to step in as we get to attempt once again to continue the hit streak for Zach Neto. 4-0 Boston as well, so has been a shutout against the Angels. Neto looking for, I believe this would be the 16th or 17th hit. Count is full for Zach Neto. Payoff pitch from Tanner Houck. It's a really good sweeper again. That has so much horizontal break. It is insane. It starts inside and then ends up a 1.5 feet outside. Top of the 9th, Ohapi with an RBI double means that it is 1-4.
1-0.
And this is really going to be the final opportunity for Neto to get the hit. Aroldis Chapman is the closer for the Red Sox. And that is a really well-placed slider. Zach Neto is going to continue the hit streak as he puts one up the middle. That was an easy one to hit for Neto. Chapman left that right down the pipe. And Neto increases his hit streak to 16 games. Looks like this one is likely going to be a loss, though, and it is. The Red Sox take the first game in the series here. In game number 2 against the Red Sox, there's another opportunity for us to step in. Kenley Jansen, bottom of the 9th, 2 outs, the bases are loaded. Well, Kenley, you found yourself in quite the pickle, haven't you? Let's see if we can get you out of it. Connor Wong, the man at the plate. Rengifo just needs to make the easy throw to first, and that is the game. Kenley Jansen gets out of the bases loaded situation and gets the Angels another win. So they're playing pretty well still without Mike Trout. And for the 3rd game in a row, we get to jump in potentially and try to increase Neto's hit streak with Ohapi on first. I believe this would be game number 18 for Neto on his hit streak. Could also be an opportunity here to tie this game up. Neto, opposite field, but the right fielder hardly had to move. And there you go. That ends the top part of the 7th. Neto maybe not going to get his hit. Top of the 9th, tie game. So potentially more chances in the future for Neto. Could also take the lead here if he can get a hit. Oh my God, it's a hanging splitter. I felt the absolute need to swing at that. Neto pops it up, and that might do it for the hit streak, ladies and gentlemen. The Red Sox end up with the victory. Ben Joyce allowing that ghost runner to come around. Red Sox walk it off, and Neto ended up with no hits. So the streak dies. I believe it was 17 or 18 was the number. JD Davis, by the way, since getting called up, batting a 0.83. So we lose the series to Boston, and we just continue to hang around 500. We're 30-31, 7.5 back now of the Rangers, and tied 4 different ways for the final wild card spot. And Tyler Anderson now can come back from injury. So the obvious choice here feels like having Kyle Hendricks go to the bench. He's seeing some serious regression, and we plug Tyler Anderson into that spot. And then we do need to send somebody back down. I think that somebody might be Hans Kraus, although he is starting to play better. On second thought, we're going to make that somebody Chase Silseth. Hendricks will come out of the bullpen as sort of a long reliever. Silseth, a bit younger, only 24. I think that he can be sent down for a little while. He has not been playing particularly well. Before I do that, let me just make sure he does have minor league options left. So now a series back at home against the Mariners before we get on to the next set of scouting. We lose the first game, but now a chance for Logan Ohapi to walk us off. All right, Logan, what do you got? Bases loaded. Nobody is out. If it is in play, it ties the game. You just can't strike out, and that's not a great start. Although I guess they could throw home theoretically, but no, they can't because it's a base knock up the middle for Ohapi. Runaround's third on his way to the plate, and he is safe. And Logan Ohapi will take the lead in the bottom of the 8th. Before heading into this one, I could have sworn that was bottom of the 9th, but it's bottom of the 8th for Logan. We'll take the lead either way, but it's not quite a walk-off for the catcher. So Kenley Jansen now on for the save. He faces Cal Raleigh, and he doesn't get the call in the 2-seam. And Raleigh going to lead off with a base knock. So the 0-2 pitch from Kenley Jansen. Swing and a miss on a nasty slider. Rayleigh all kinds of tied up there. So the double play, absolutely an option here against Randy Arozarena. And what do you know? Arozarena not slow, though. Can he beat it out? He's safe. At least that is the call at first base. So 2 gone as we can't turn it quite fast enough. So Jansen has to face Jorge Polanco to try to clean this one up. Runner on first. 0-2. Can Kenley put him away? Pitch on its way, and he swings underneath the high cutter. And that is another victory for the Angels and a save for Kenley Jansen. Logan O'Hoppe, the hero, tying the game in the bottom of the 8th to lead to the Halos' victory. Another week gone, some more scouting to be done, and Todd Dennison is suddenly our draft rank 1. 79 to 95 potential, 61 to 77 overall, 18-year-old from Jamaica. Went from 46th on the MLB board to Angels draft rank 1. A center fielder with elite speed, great fielding, great reactions, and great stealing. He's not horrible with the bat, but really only average. He doesn't quite have the vision or discipline I would want, but apparently he is now our best player in the class. And I'm also starting to like Brian Julio as our potential 3rd round pick, although he is below average to average in like quite literally everything, but he does appear to at least have pretty solid potential. So what a fascinating dilemma to have. Todd Dennison, suddenly the team likes even more than Kevin Vasquez, which I gotta be honest, looking at these numbers, I don't know that I necessarily agree with. Vasquez looks to be a better hitter and a better fielder, where Dennison is maybe like a little bit more well-rounded, I guess you could argue. He has a better arm. Dennison also tiny at 5'7", whereas Vasquez is 6'4". Very opposite in terms of height and weight, but extremely similar in terms of gameplay. So I think this makes the pick feel obvious. I think this means that we take Carmona at number 2, and then we get Dennison at pick 43, where hopefully he is still around, being that he is MLB draft rank 46. I know there's no guarantee of that, but that feels like the smartest possible decision. And then ideally, James Ingebrigtsen is still around in the 3rd round, and he would be our 3rd round pick. So now we're getting to the point where we need to look at some of these guys further down the board or start discovering prospects. And I think oftentimes the best bet is to discover guys, because if we just look at these potentials from these bottom guys, it's just not looking great. Like maybe Ernest Santos looks pretty okay, but he's going to start at a horrific overall as a 22-year-old, which is not exactly ideal. There is Jason DeVarco. He is 23, horrific overall, but he could have elite potential. Not ideal as a 23-year-old to be a sub 50 in terms of overall, but this could be our very last pick of the draft. If it works out, it works out. He might not be able to be in the MLB until he's like 28, and we get a very short prime from Jason DeVarco, but he also has potential to be very, very good. Everything just super mediocre from Jason. I was just about to have somebody scout Reggie Jenkins because he has up to 99 potential. He's only 18. His starting overall is as low as 18. Look at those present attributes. How is this kid even playing in high school? He's horrific. So let's wrap up this series against Seattle, see if we can get the win. As no, we get shut out 0-6. So now 2 games under 500. We do end up with 5 hits, just no runs coming around, and Tyler Anderson in his first start back allows 4 earned runs. And then the Angels win another series versus the Athletics. So they're still 1 game under 500. We are rapidly approaching draft day. We are about a month away. So I think we're going to wrap this episode up here. And then the next episode will be everything leading up to draft day. And then we will do draft day in the following episode. Hopefully we get some of these injured players back in that time. Remains to be seen. But the Angels are still holding strong at this point, although 500 is not really a place you want to be. If we take a look at the standings, we are 9 games back of the Rangers, and we are a half game back of the Orioles for the wild card. But anyways, that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and for the continued support. Shout out as always to the channel members. If you want to become a channel member, you can do so by hitting the join button down below for as low as $1 per month. And if you find yourself coming back on the regular and you aren't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that sub button for me. It does help me out a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next episode where we'll get one step closer to the draft.